Today we are going to look at the bonus elite fights that you can find throughout the Spire. These are all found in the random event rooms, and most of them you have the option to fight or not to fight. First of all, we have the Dead Adventurer event. This is found exclusively in Act 1. You have to be past floor number 7 or higher in order to find the Dead Adventurer. You have a couple different things that can happen in this room. First of all, you'd come across a dead adventurer on the floor. His pants have been stolen. This sentence right here is going to tell you what the fight is going to be. We see scoured by flames here. That means we are going to fight the 3 sentries. If it says eviscerated and chopped by giant claws, that means you're going to be fighting Lagavulin. Just a note, when you do fight Lagavulin here, the elite does not begin asleep. You start with the Siphon Soul event. So after turn 1 on that fight, you're going to lose strength and dexterity from Lagavulin. And then of course, if it says gouged and trampled by a horned beast, you're going to be fighting the Gremlin Knob. Defeating the elite grants you whatever rewards have not yet been found by this search box right here, in addition to a little bit of extra gold. Note that when you click find loot, if you find a relic beforehand, you are not going to find an extra relic after beating the elite. Anytime you click this leave button, you are going to keep all the loot that you have already found, whether that is gold or an extra relic. So you can go ahead and fight the elite anyways if you want the extra card reward. Note that this is considered an elite combat, so if you have Preserved Insect, Sling of Courage, or the Slaver's Collar, these are all going to proc those bonus points you get here. However, note that if you have Black Star, you are not going to get an extra relic for completing this event. When you click search, every time your percentage that the monster returns is going to increase. So you have a couple of things that could happen. First off, you can find some gold, anywhere between 25 and 35 gold. You can find the relic that you would get by defeating the elite. You can find nothing, and every time you click, you have the option to continue searching. After 3 successful search encounters, you get a special, very rare note that says, "It looks like you have searched all of his belongings without a hitch, and you can escape." What do we do here for our look? First of all, ask yourself if you can beat whatever elite you're going to be fighting. You know, some decks are excellent against one elite, but really terrible against another. If you're playing a deck that is very heavy on skills and you see gouged and trampled, then you do not want to fight against the Gremlin Knob in this situation, and so it's probably best to just leave. I would recommend just ignore this percentile number here. If you cannot beat the elite, then it's probably best to just go ahead and leave and move on to your next fight. However, if you can't beat the elite and you also don't have what it takes to beat your upcoming boss, then you can probably go ahead and roll the dice and see if you can make it, because you're probably not going to make it that much farther anyways. Moving on to Act 2, we have the Masked Bandits event. This is found exclusively in Act 2 random events, and you encounter a group of red bandits wearing red masks. You have the option here to lose all of your gold for a free escape, or you can fight the bandits for the chance to get a unique relic. You have to beat all 3 of them as they gang up on you. Note that the game does not consider this an elite fight, so if you have Preserved Insect, Sling of Courage, Slaver's Collar, or Black Star, they are going to have no effect in this fight. So let's take a look at the bandits. First, we have Pointy going from left to right. Pointy always deals a damage times 2, 5 damage for lower ascension levels, and 6 when you get to ascension 2 or higher. Romeo on turn 1 is going to do nothing. He's going to either mock you, and then you have a pattern. He's going to alternate between his Agonizing Slash, which deals damage and applies weak, or he's going to use his Cross Slash, which is going to deal more damage. Once you get to Ascension 17, Romeo is going to start off by mocking you, of course, and then you're going to get a cycle of 1 Agonizing Slash and 2 Cross Slashes. Third up on the list, we have Bear. Turn 1, Bear does a Bear Hug, which gives you -2 or -4 dexterity, depending on your ascension level. So he's going to alternate between Lunge, which deals damage to you and gives him block, or he's going to maul you for 18 or 20 damage. And that's always his pattern. He's going to alternate between Lunge and maul. If you beat the Masked Bandits, you do get the Red Mask, which is going to start every fight by applying 1 week to all of your enemies. Also of note, there's an additional event in Act 3 called the Tomb of the Lord Red Mask, where he's going to give you some gold if you already own the mask. If you don't own the mask, you can pay all of your gold at that point to obtain the mask. So what is our strategy here? If you can kill Bear on turn 1, that is always going to be helpful, because then Pointy and Romeo are really not that difficult if you have all of your dexterity. If you can't kill Bear on turn 1, I always do as much damage to Pointy as I can, because when you're weak and you can't have a whole lot of dexterity, the multi-attack that Pointy does really can add up quickly, and he usually has the lowest amount of health out of the 3. Also in Act 2, we have the Colosseum event, found in the top half of the act after your treasure chest. You have been abducted and you are forced to participate in an arena battle. This first fight, of course, we have no way of escaping here. You fight a blue slaver and a red slaver together. This is not an incredibly difficult fight, but you do have to fight it in order to move on. Once you fight the blue slaver and the red slaver, you are given the option to escape with no real rewards here. There is a powerful fight with many rewards you can choose, and when you click that, we are going to get into our bonus elite fight. We're going to fight against the Taskmaster and the Gremlin Knob from Act 1. If you win this fight, you get 100 gold, one rare, and 1 uncommon relic, plus your standard card reward. The game does consider this an elite fight, so if you have Preserved Insect, Sling of Courage, and Slaver's Collar, those are going to give you their bonuses. However, Black Star does not give you any additional relics in this fight. Of course, Gremlin Knob is going to still have his strategic buff that anytime you play a skill, he is going to increase in damage. So it's a pretty good idea to start out by taking down the Gremlin Knob first, and then focus on the Taskmaster. Of course, this is going to change if you have a deck that is really susceptible to having wounds inflicted on you. Finally, we have one more optional bonus elite, sort of elite fight, found in Act 3, the Mysterious Sphere. Again, exclusively in Act 3, you come across a treasure encased in a sphere of bone with these 2 automatons guarding it. You have 2 options. Of course, you can leave and move on with no downside, or you can fight against 2 orb walkers. This is a fairly tough fight, and it is not considered an elite, so you don't get any bonus from Preserved Insect, Sling of Courage, Slaver's Collar, or Black Star. If you win, you get a rare relic, 45 to 55 gold, an additional card choice, and this does count as a fight, so you get an increased potion chance as well. Tips for fighting this fight: take 1 down at a time if you don't have any AoE in order to do so. Fighting one of these spheres at a time isn't usually too bad, but when you have 2, they really can escalate out of control quickly, given the fact that they gain a huge amount of strength every turn. And those are your bonus elite fights for Slay the Spire. Again, they're all skippable to some extent or another, but if you can in any way, I always recommend taking most of these fights. The rewards are generally well worth it, and in the case of the Masked Bandits, it's just principle. Fight even if you only have 1 gold left. If you like this style of video, leave a caw down in the comments section. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.